and welcome to Tech Talk 4. I'm Ishita Arora,
And I'm Damanpreet Kaur.
and we have joined Optum India as Technology Development Program Associates. It's just been 3 months into this organization, and we have gotten the opportunity to take over this platform from Harish Gudi, CIO, Optum India. But this time, the roles have been reversed. Harish joins us not as a host, but as a guest.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Harish.
Ishita, Daman, I think the pleasure is all mine. It does feel a little different to be a guest instead of a host, but I'm sure it's going to be fun.
So, Harish, we've been keenly following Tech Talk. And as a technologist who's just starting off with their professional journey, we would love to hear about your experiences.
Sure.
So, I'd like to begin with the very fundamentals. What, according to you, is the most important consideration for any healthcare technologist who is working towards building solutions for the consumers?
Great starting point, Ishita. So let me break this down, right? The most fundamental aspect about healthcare is that it is about people. So the approach to technology in healthcare is not about latest tech. It's about the real challenges and problems that patients, providers, members face on a day-to-day basis. Like we say at Optum, our approach to technology isn't about designing yet another app to fix healthcare. It's about connecting people to their care teams. It's about connecting payers to providers and ultimately connecting a disconnected health system so that it works better for the people it was created to serve.
Yeah, that shift toward connected ecosystems makes absolute sense. But that also makes me wonder, Harish, how do we translate these trends into solving real world problems like healthcare access, the outcomes, and experiences, obviously?
Spot on, Daman. Like innovation must serve a purpose, right? At the end of it.
Yeah.
Innovation for the sake of innovation has really no meaning, right? So let's unpack how tech tackles what we call the quadruple aim of healthcare, right? Affordability, accessibility, outcome, and of course, experience for both the provider and the patient. Now, this embodies not only the challenges and opportunities in healthcare, but also our framework for measuring impact. For example, technology in healthcare can significantly lower administrative costs. That obviously will increase a lot of affordability. How do we do that? We do that through automation. We do that through AI. We can, of course, expand access, secure telehealth, improve outcomes by standardizing care, and, of course, making sure that standardization also with good quality can reduce errors. And yet, you must remember that the ultimate purpose must be to enhance, not replace a clinician patient relationship. As long as you keep that in mind, I think you will do the right things.
So, Harish, what are a few things that we and anyone who is working in healthcare must truly understand as maybe factors that are reshaping healthcare today?
See, first and foremost, consumers are waking up to what they are seeing around in the world, in retail, in banking, and healthcare consumers also want to expect that now. So, what that means is care is not about just hospitals in terms of gravity, it's about experiences, it's about moving care to our homes. It's also about connectivity in terms of wearables, in terms of telenet, in terms of IoT. So overall experience and convenience is like the new normal, period. Second, look, patients also are not passive anymore, like I was saying, right? They become active decision makers. So they want to participate in their health and well-being. So they want to be able to research conditions proactively. They want to be able to compare providers. They want to be able to compare pricing. They want to be able to book appointments. They want to be able to use their phones to do all of this, in a very convenient manner. They also want to see if, can I do it from home, the convenience from home. So all of those things, care whenever, wherever I am, is kind of becoming the center of everything today, right? It's all about connected ecosystems, right? The healthcare ecosystem is quite large, quite complex, and merging physical reality into virtual systems, into virtual care, and merging the various departments internally and externally to create that seamless data exchange with consent, and the experience that it can create is becoming very, very important. AI obviously is able to now predict health risks before they show up. So it's all about value based care. And how do we create better collaboration between various parties involved to be able to do preventive care and to be able to predict and personalize healthcare? Like earlier, we talked about outcome. This entire setup creates outcome based care, which we call value based care, right? Of course, artificial intelligence and machine learning continue to evolve and continue to enhance healthcare. Predictive analytics, natural language processing. Expect all of this to get a lot more sophisticated and to be able to create much more consumer centric applications of the future. And oh, yeah, how can I forget generative AI that all you folks are working on? We are seeing explosive growth in non clinical use cases, particularly, right? Whether it is billing and going back to customer service, our teams are just bursting with ideas. You know, you can read Wall Street Journal. We've said there very clearly that we have more than 1,000 use cases now live on AI. So it's very, very exciting times.
Yeah, and like you said, automating admin work, protecting patient-doctor relationship, and securing telehealth, of course. So these all seem like a very complex balancing
Right.
act, and I that also makes me think, what are the technical skills that are actually required to build these solutions?
Okay, good one. So let me, I mean, there's a lot of skills out there, right?
Yeah, of
There's so
course.
much to learn. But let me just outline three, four things that I think are becoming very important in this new age. So here are the critical skills. Number one, AI, ML in everything, right? It's not just a hype. You're seeing it, you're working on it, right? We are talking predictive analytics, we are talking spotting outbreaks, we are talking affordability, we are talking outcome, everything. And how do we process all this data and help take doctors' notes and convert them into insights that the clinician can look at and help make decisions on. So that's going to be very important. Number two, cloud, right? Cloud expertise is non-negotiable. We must have every engineer who can architect systems that are globally interoperative, right? Data and systems have to interoperate to be able to solve for the quadruple aim of health. So very core basic skills are a must in cloud. Uh, you must master Python. Obviously, Kubernetes, can't do without it. And database optimization, right? Also, cost of compute, how do you manage costs? All those things become important because if you end up running a system in the cloud that is expensive, then you're again not solving for affordability, right? So these are all the things to keep in mind. Then obviously there is health data analysis, right? With digital health generating oceans of data, we need to be really fluent. We need professionals material in SQL, in Python, in dashboarding like Tableau. A lot of automation tools out there today. Uh, People who can translate raw EHR into meaningful insights that are actionable, that are helping the clinician make better decisions and spend more time with the people that they're trying to care for versus focusing on too much administrative work and form filling is the very important thing, right?
Yeah.
Last but not the least, let's not forget, we said consumer and consumer experience. How can you do consumer and consumer experience if you're not a UI leader, if you're not a UI expert? So UI, UX design is going to be very important.
For sure.
So large scale digital organizations and the digitalization that is happening in healthcare provides all of you a fantastic opportunity to become tech professionals who understand patient needs, consumer needs, member needs, and bring digital design and experience into the foray. And when you create the concoction of these things, magic happens, right? That's the experience you need to create.
For sure. All the points you mentioned makes me realize that technical skills is just one half of this equation. Now, beyond technical expertise, what are some of the soft skills that can differentiate a great techie from anyone who's working in healthcare?
Well, you are probably asking me, and it's not $1 million question, it's like $1 billion question, right? Because it's perhaps the most critical part of our whole self that we need to focus on. Because the finest code in the world is just code and it fails if there is lack of, particularly in our industry, if there's lack of empathy and understanding for the consumer needs, right? Let's break it down. So number one, empathy is not nice to have. It's not optional, right? It is strategic. Whether you're designing an EHR interface or an AI diagnostic tool, or you're trying to understand the fears of the patients and consumers, you're trying to understand their frustrations, unless you get up close out there, you will not be able to solve the problem that they're facing. This is what will separate a good healthcare technologist from some coder somewhere, right? I think that's something to keep in mind. Number two, you could have the best ideas. If you cannot articulate and communicate them well, you will never get your point across. And if you can't do that, then it's futile. So communication is our secret weapon. The best engineers fail if they can't translate code into a story that can be described and told, done at zero distance, and that provides clinical value. So we all have to first also need to learn the language of the patients, of the members, the language of the providers, the language of the regulators with clarity, and then be able to, ideate and be able to persuade that this idea is going to make a difference. But it all starts with zero distance to the person for who you are solving the problem, and active listening. Listen very, very intently to every word that is told, and then build your, solution and story. Last but not the least, ethics, right? In healthcare, ethics is yet one more non-negotiable, right? It's the foundation of everything we do. Look, we are dealing with care and human lives here. Every data set carries information that you need to know how to use, when not to use, and what to use it for, right? Every leader must bake integrity into design choices, right? Because in healthcare, a flawed model is not, I had a model that is not accurate. It's not just one bug that I have to fix. It can be a life-altering event for someone. There's a huge responsibility on your shoulders, on our shoulders, to use AI responsibly, and get it right the first time, right? Then, in the middle of all these must-haves and non-negotiables and storytelling, no one single individual in this vast system can solve the problem that we're dealing with. So it becomes very, very important and imperative to collaborate. Collaboration beats solo genius any day, right? So, look at the initiatives we are running, like Sit with Ops, hashtag Sit with Ops. What it's about? It's about developers, designers, process experts in process excellence, and the advocates and operators out there, all coming together to solve that problem, right? So technology needs to collaborate with business, needs to collaborate with, advocates, and needs to collaborate inside and outside the organization as well sometimes. Finally, adaptability is survival, right? Things are moving very fast. Things are moving very fast, not just in technology and some new model release every day. And, it's so hard to keep up. I'm sure you're feeling it every day.
Yeah.
But remember, healthcare is also changing. There are new inventions, new procedures. There is new policies. There are new outbreaks, new scientific research, new drugs. All kinds of things are happening all at the same time. So the ones that stay one step ahead, look at all this and pivot and not panic. Whether it's scaling telehealth overnight or rewriting protocols in generative AI are the ones who are going to, do well. Top it up with continuous learning. That's our growth engine in healthcare tech. Yesterday's breakthroughs, like I said, are today's baseline. So the best technologies are coming. They aren't even here yet. I mean, if you think today is best, tomorrow is better, right?
Yeah.
So we need to continuously learn, master the new emerging AI frameworks, and obviously stay very close and understanding the evolving patient needs, healthcare trends, and everything else. Learning never stops. The buck stops at you. Sandeep Dadlani said in his HFS podcast, from the horse's mouth, what did he say? He said, it's not enough to have learned as an undergrad. Ask yourself, what did I learn last year? Right? You've come from campuses, you've spent some time here.
Yeah.
So that's not enough. Ask yourself, what did I learn last year? What am I learning this year? And that mindset is what will keep you ahead, is what will keep you resilient, and will make sure we make the health system work better for everyone.
Absolutely.
Ishita and Daman, I'm not able to hold myself back, right? I'm used to asking questions. So I'm just going to ask one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? So from a culture perspective, you've been in this organization some time now. I know you said you were TDPers. What's your main takeaway? How are you feeling about the culture?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I think since the day I've joined, one thing that I've seen the most focus on is belief. I think I have gotten the opportunity to go forward, try out new things, knowing that someone is there to support me, to back me up. And I think that is one thing that is, a huge part of culture for me.
Okay, fantastic.
And I think for me, it would be like, how the culture supports us for being like a well-rounded individual. Maybe, it's not just limited to work. We have a different, activities going on, be it like badminton matches, cricket matches. And see, today here I am being at my first podcast ever. So yeah, I think.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought?
Fantastic. I love the enthusiasm. I love how happy you guys are. You all know that we don't just deploy tech for tech's sake. So I just want to also say that one very integral part of our culture has to be to champion responsible use, right? Which means don't ever worry, but push back when you think somebody is taking a shortcut, when you think something may not be right or even borderline unethical. Just be open about it. And always, I can say it one more time, always put the member and the patient first.
Yeah, I mean, the last point that you mentioned about patient first, it actually crystallizes everything. Like, whether it's UI or it's ethics, at the end of the day, where does it go? It loops back to the impact on real people. So I think, patient first sums up the whole thing.
Absolutely. And it makes me think about our own journeys.
Yeah, actually, it
Harish,
does. It does.
What would you advise us? How should we, as new technologists who are just starting, how should we stick to this patient first principle and navigate through all these technical and human complexities?
Yeah. So look, we covered a lot of topics and bullets and advices, and I'll just say three things, okay, to sum this all up. Number one, anchor to the customer. We said it enough times. As I've said before, like put customer in the center of the ecosystem, understand their pain points, and deploy effective technology that can drive better outcomes and manage risk, right? Two, choose wisely. From a career perspective now, I'm saying, right? Mission over money. What will give you that long-term happiness and satisfaction, right? These choices are not easy, but they are what distinguish a good career from a great one. Okay? Now, healthcare tech lets you solve puzzles that touch billions. If you have passion for solving complex problems, making real impact to communities around you, there isn't a better place to work at. So that's the three things that I wanted to take away. Think about that. I'm sure it'll give you a lot of direction and drive.
For sure, for sure. And all of this mission over money, impact over shortcuts, this is something that will stay with me. Thank you so much for that clarity.
Ishita, Daman, the honor is totally mine. You've been such wonderful host today, so thank you for that.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank
so
you so much, Harish. We're very grateful to have you today, honestly. I think this was a very fun conversation and very insightful too. And maybe we can look forward to more such conversations.
I can do this all day. Get me out of the other meetings, I can do this all day.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Harish, before you leave, let's have a selfie.
Of course, let's do it.